bring all of your attention to an American who is being held in Venezuela. You see him right there. His name is SAVOI WRIGHT, and he was arrested on October 24th and is now being charged with terrorism-related offenses, according to family attorney. But here's the catch. His family says that he is being wrongfully detained, and it's not just that. They're also claiming to have been extorted for thousands of dollars in an attempt to secure his release. So what is being done to get him home? Well, as of now, not much. And that's because of the sour relationship between the U.S. government and Venezuela's autocratic leader, Nicolas Maduro, a leader who is now set to take over parts of his oil-rich neighbor, Guyana, a part of the country the size of Florida. Now, the State Department has labeled Venezuela with a level 4 travel advisory, saying, quote, do not travel to Venezuela due to crime, civil unrest, kidnapping, and the arbitrary enforcement of local laws, unquote. Now, other countries on that list include Iraq, Lebanon, Russia, Somalia, North Korea, Yemen, Syria. Now, it's critical to note that SAVOI WRIGHT, he's not a celebrity. He's not an athlete. He's not perhaps even known to any of you, but he's also not a journalist. He's just a regular American who, according to his family, was seemingly in the wrong place at the wrong time. His family joins me now, his mother, Erin Stewart, and his sister, Moizeé Stewart. Thank you to you both for joining me this evening. This must be a particularly scary time to think about where he is, what could be happening, and what could come next. Erin, if I could begin with you. Are you in touch with SAVOI at all? I mean, do you even know where he's being held and how he's being treated there right now?
Thank you, Laura, first of all, for having us on. We really appreciate it, and for bringing light to SAVOI, to this situation. It's horrific. There's no words for this. It's devastating. It's a nightmare beyond description. We do know that SAVOI is currently being held at DGCIM, which is the government military intelligence. And we do know that he has not been treated well. This has been after he's been passed around from government facility to facility, while being extorted. And we do know that the situation and the conditions there are extreme. We do know that SAVOI had passed out due to the abuse and the neglect and was taken to a medical facility. We know it's just a horrific situation for him.
Now, when you talk about the abuse and all that's going on, the perhaps elephant in the room are concerns that this is a black man in this country, in this particular system. And you have particular concerns as well, Moizeé, about the fact that this is a black man in this prison and in this government custody. Why do you raise it?
Yeah, that's one. I think we all kind of know the inclination of one being a black male in the U.S. prison system, let alone in South America. So our major concern is not just the treatment, right? We realize that since SAVOI has been in custody, we have really been given the runaround on so many different levels with the Venezuelan government as well as our own. SAVOI has blatantly been treated as a second-class hostage by both government officials, and like you mentioned earlier, it's like he's a normal guy, right? He's our family. To other people, he might not be anything. To us, he's everything, and it's imperative that we bring light to this situation. His life matters, his safety matters, and we want to make sure that he is given the same treatment as other celebrities, as other people who have, gotten designated very quickly. That's one of the reasons we're bringing attention to this, is we're really pushing for and calling for SAVOI to be designated wrongfully detained. We know that there are currently negotiations in process, and we need him to be a part of that.
Moizeé, the warnings against going to Venezuela may have perked up a lot of ears to suggest that, he was there in that particular location. It does not change the fact that you want him home, and doesn't change the fact that he is now facing terrorism charges there. He's accused of conspiring with Venezuelan opposition members. Now, you and I have spoken about this. Does that sound, Erin, like your son? Moizeé, like your brother?
That is not my son. My son is a 6'10" gentle giant with the kindest heart and spirit free spirit, loving spirit, loves life, loves people, loves culture, which is why he's there. He fell in love with South America, fluent in Spanish and Portuguese, English, fell in love with Venezuela, you know? And so the fact that they have now, Savoy was kidnapped. He was kidnapped and he has been held for ransom. We have been extorted multiple times.
While he's been in government custody. And not just that, he was interrogated, he was tested, he was cleared at not just one, but 2 facilities. And they were actually moving forward with the deportation process, at which time the military intelligence intervened and have now turned him into a political prisoner, which is just one of many of the points on the Livingston Act of the criteria that he meets, which would make him, eligible for the designation to be wrongfully detained. It's imperative that we give that the due process. His human rights are being violated on a daily basis in Venezuela. We know that. And it seems that is happening here. So we're really just pleading with the State Department to do everything that they can in their power. It's imperative that Secretary of State Antony Blinken sees this case and reviews it as soon as possible. Savoy must be included. His life must matter. And we have to do everything in our power to ensure that happens. Recently, Brian Nichols, who was the Assistant Secretary of State of the Western Hemisphere Affairs, he actually included Savoy in that at a press conference. He referred to the 4 designated wrongfully detained Americans. So he can even see how blatantly obvious it is that Savoy has been, kidnapped. But we still have to somehow prove that to our government. What is so obvious? Like, what else do we need? We've provided them the information,
evidence,
all the evidence, all of the receipts, all of the extortions, all of the texts. We've showed them how Savoy's human rights have been violated. He has not been allowed access to his attorney. He was put into a forced disappearance for 4 weeks where no one could contact him. No one knew where he was.
in solitary confinement.
So it's like, really, checks off so many boxes, and yet everyone is still somehow, dumbfounded.
Bureaucracy.
About whether or not he meets this criteria. It's so
Erin,
obvious.
We have
Erin, Moizeé, I do want to. Oh, sorry, ma'am. I didn't want to cut you off. Excuse me. I do apologize. I do want to read, because people are probably wondering where the State Department is and what they've said about this. A spokesperson for the State Department is telling CNN that they are aware of reports that Savoy was arrested in Venezuela, but also said, and I'm quoting them, "For privacy, safety, and operational reasons, we do not always make wrongful detention determinations public, do not comment on individual cases, nor discuss any details of internal deliberative processes." Well, Erin, Moizeé, I certainly hope you are being made aware of all that could be done to help your brother and your son. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm so sorry to hear about what's going on.
Thank you so much for the time, and thank you for caring. We value you. Thank you.
We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back.